I'm thinking about how to approach this video for 3 years now. An introductory video as to who I am, what do I do, and why am I the right person for this particular time. So I worked as a psychotherapist for 15 years. Had many interesting experiences over that time to kind of lead me in this direction. I remember this one experience I had. I was at a bar and I had just been introduced to the idea of Reiki. And I remember meeting this woman who was into Reiki and was trained in Japan and things like that. And she says she doesn't practice Reiki on people because she can't control it. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Do some on me. In a very naive sort of way, but this is what I do. I'm very curious and I explore things like that. I consider myself a psychonaut in that way, exploring the dimensions of the mind and consciousness and things like that. So anyway, she finally agreed to do something for me, and she stood behind me and placed her hands on my back. Like right on my back, like right over here. And at first I didn't feel anything. I was like, cool, man, whatever. And I remember going home and then a sudden rush of heat was emanating around my chest, front to back, all around, nowhere else, just this heat. And my mind starts going and racing. And I start to realize that I'm not thinking some of these thoughts, that some of these things are just kind of like impressed upon me to consider. And one of the things that I was considering, and I still consider to this day, is, am I willing to die for this? Am I willing to die for the things that I believe in and the things that I'm trying to do right now? Still kind of on the edge about that, but I'm taking baby steps towards that. And what is the thing that I am doing is ultimately I'm raising the consciousness of humanity to bring about more self-awareness in people so that ultimately they can make a change in the world. Because God knows we need this change right now. This time in our lives we're facing so many different radical changes in our lives, yet there is no radical change happening within us. And I found that addressing the soul in psychology was very kind of like a taboo thing. Like I would present some ideas in the groups that I would teach, and then I'd come back, people would say like, yeah, it was awesome, it was amazing. Word gets round to my boss, it was like, well, Al, you can't speak on those things. You have to focus on things that are like evidence-based practices and things like that. And I was like, well, now this is a conundrum. This is a conundrum. I still continued to do what I do because I knew it was helpful. But I knew that working in that space, I was limited. I was very limited in my ability to share and teach and provide this timeless wisdom, for people that were in such desperate need for it. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. So if this is something that may be of interest to you, subscribe, follow, like, come along for the ride. I promise it'll be worth your while. Yeah, cool. Peace, y'all.